It's, in my view, a cultural hub, a creative laboratory.
It's one of the most exciting initiatives at the University of Pretoria in a long time.
It's a dream, it's a big dream, and it's one which is attainable, and it's happening now. And it's something which we believe is timeless, and it's something which will be played out in this brand new space, this brand new building, linking the university with the world.
It's actually been a very exciting process because there's been a long discussion on what to do with the collection, which has been built up over many years. I think the interesting thing is that we have this collection on the one hand and the Javett Foundation's long-term interest in education on the other. So we were always, well, certainly over the last few years, planning on putting them together in somehow. And when Stefan Welz eventually introduced us to the University of Pretoria, everything really came together in a most marvelous fashion. The Javett Foundation is the philanthropic side, really, of the Javett family, currently headed up by Michael Javett. The collection that the foundation is loaning to the Art Centre is what I would call a classic 20th century collection.
Art is always important, and we see developments in African art in particular on the overseas market. There is a blossoming of art in this continent as well.
The Javett-UP Art Centre is coming in at the right time when there has been all these seeds that have been planted over the past 15, 20, 25 years of the art of South Africa, but by extension, the art of Africa.
You know, the idea of the Javett-UP is not to have a museum in the old school sense, if I could put it that way. It's really about having a living, dynamic space, a space where there's intergenerational conversation, conversation amongst diverse cultural groups. And the University of Pretoria is particularly well positioned to offer that platform.
Institutions like the Javett Centers are those kind of platforms that we need, not just to talk to ourselves, but to talk to the rest of the world and provide an understanding of what art from Africa is about from our own African perspective.
Art, culture, music, dance, all of these elements are seen with one signature, an African signature. And that signature is being recognized and being celebrated internationally around the world. The interest in contemporary African art at the moment is incredible. And we at the Javett Art Centre, a new institution being set up at the University of Pretoria, currently coming out of the ground alongside the main campus to span Linwood Road, where town and gown, student and person in the street can come together and begin to examine what we mean by the art of Africa.
Javett is particularly well placed at this time and in this particular location to draw attention to what the art of Africa can mean at a time and space in South Africa when we're desperately trying to think about who we are and what it means to be African. It's no coincidence that there's been a drive towards looking at art as an entry point into all sorts of complicated questions.
Javett, for me, is about the possibilities of our future. It's about a creative engine, a space to bring people together. It ignites community in many ways, but it's also at the same time a space that facilitates dialogue. The Javett Arts Centre for me is about creative education, and it's about imagining our future.
The students can walk into the space, learn more about new artworks, new contemporary artworks, and a culture of art understanding will be enriched and enhanced.
Getting yourself into an exhibition or getting access to a space to exhibit your work is not always that easy, and I think the Javett Centre just might make that a lot easier for us.
So to have a facility so nearby is very exciting. Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be the wow part of the University of Pretoria.
We've got a genuinely great art collection which nobody ever sees. And this will solve that problem to start off with and actually maybe bring the art back to Pretoria.
The building itself, which will be an iconic structure, makes place for historic material such as the Mapamgubwe gold, through to galleries and spaces where we can engage with exhibitions, temporary exhibitions and workshops, lectures, and even residencies. So effectively, we're bringing the sum of all the parts together in reflecting this African vision we speak of, this diversity of Africa, this energy of Africa, the cultural capital, the human capital of Africa, which plays itself out in its exuberant, bright, energetic, and fascinating ethos, which becomes the art of Africa.